detail.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no
one
worries.
of the things that like it keeps surfacing back when this topic has come up is, you know, BlackRock and all these companies wanted properties over there.
Yeah, yeah.
They've been trying to get the families out. Locals are embedded there.
It's not a new thing. It's
Is
not
there a lot
like,
of fires in Maui? Typically, you
there's
say
always
it's dry.
there's always a fire on the west side of every island. That's just the way it is. Never of that extent.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what I'll say is this, is like, if you want to know your future, read history. So read Plague and Fire by Honolulu. And that was a fire that was a controlled burn for the plague that reached the shores of Sand Island, which is where all the cargo comes in. This is right before the Dole regime. So I'm going to get off of my, but you know, like the date's off, but either way, right around when the Dole regime came in, right before, about a year or so before. Now, the wind switched from trade, which is like east-northeast to Kona, and it sends the fire, this control burn, to control bodies from the plague, because at the time there was a big Chinese influence, sugarcane trade, so on and so forth, and they had their superstition from the religion that the body would have to go back to China for their soul. So they would just display them and keep them there until they could ship them. Burn, a control burn to get rid of it and sterilize, right? Wind switch, it goes right up the mountain. Now what happens after that is like, and this is all true factual story. This is that it's a historical account, that book, Plague and Fire of Honolulu, is that the Dole regime took over right after, meaning they established a CDC, so to say, like that stopped the plague, they stopped the fire, they created a Department of Health. That's exactly what happened. I'm not making anything up. This is years in the past, factual. And then a new regime came in off a tragedy, right? They owned all the land, they took over all the buildings that burnt, eminent domain, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Now, was it by malice or mistake? The history books, how you read into it, you make your decision. Now this, the vultures that are circling, they're circling, they would be circling regardless. Is it convenient? Yes. It's pretty convenient that all these things happen.
Is it done on purpose, or is it just take advantage of a bad situation?
I will say that, like, to that accord, malice or mistake, regardless, it's not a new practice, and it's not like they're not waiting to buy cheap land in Hawaii, because scarcity is value. It's the most valuable land in the world. Yep. You know what I mean? So if they can buy it at a bargain opportunity horribly against, you know, the best interests of the locals, which is my priority and everybody else's priority that's friends with these people, it's gonna happen. So it's kind of like, at this point, the onus is on the locals, is the game of attrition is on.
So what's the best thing that people can donate to over there?
Yeah, just Lauhai, find a Venmo to the family. Make sure they're, you know, they have obviously the first things, like, I know women and children first, but there's a lot of pregnant or recent mothers that need just goods. They need diapers, they need things that, you know, just you can direct ship to them, and then look for where the housings are, like, because there's a lot of like public-private that just gave up their farms and stuff and are housing these people. But how long can they sustain that monetarily? So,
not long.
Yeah, not long. So I would go Lauhai, and then I heard the Hawaii Community Foundation seems to be another really good one. I think Red Cross and FEMA got funding. They're doing their thing. So Red Cross is another good one for disaster relief. But the ones that are like hitting directly to the families that are trying not to leave. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. Keep them there, keep them housed. It's going to be a heavy lift though. So keep watching it.
Anytime it is.